Hi, I'm Nick Martin here with Jack Dolgin. We're at the Duke Chronicle. We're here outside the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, where Duke has just won the 2K Classic by defeating Georgetown 86-84. Now, there's obviously a lot to talk about with the game. It was a great game, back and forth the whole time, and it came down to the wire on a last-minute shot missed by Georgetown. But when you're thinking about this game, when people look back on this weekend, there are only two words they're going to say, and that's Grayson Allen. Jack, what did he do today that made him so spectacular?
Well, I don't think he did one thing great, and I think that's why he was so phenomenal. We saw he could stroke the three-pointer. He had an amazing three-point shot in the second half that basically sealed the win. But he also drove to the hoop with authority multiple times this weekend. He was the MVP of the tournament, and I think he proved that while there were a lot of questions about him going into this weekend, can he be that guy? Is he consistent? He proved he can be that consistent player, someone they've needed. Maybe the fourth player on the Duke class of 2018 who may be NBA ready by this point. We've seen Jaleel, we've seen Tyus, we've seen Justice. Grayson's looking as NBA ready as any player on the Blue Devils so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
What he did today was spectacular, not just because of the end total of 32 points, but he did it on 12 shots. He was 9 of 12 from the field, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. He was aggressive, and he was able to pick his shots and take his drives precisely. And that's a lot of what you're talking about from moving on, especially after that Kentucky game. That's what he did today.
Yeah.
It was very obvious, impressive.
Yeah, and I think one other thing is you look at the Blue Devils, who came into this week after a really tough loss to Kentucky, 3 games on the road. They go into the second half trailing, and rather than giving into, they could have been very tired. Instead, they come back with a lot of energy. They go on a big streak. You see Matt Jones and Grayson Allen at one point were shooting 7 of 8 from the three-point line. You talk about choosing between a small and a large, starting lineup. I mean, they were able to shoot from the perimeter, which was huge. And the other thing that I don't think we talked about is Georgetown simply didn't shoot as well in the second half. I mean, VCU, the same thing. So as much as Duke really stepped up their game in the second half, which was very impressive, you look at Georgetown and VCU, who struggled in the second half for whatever reason, and that obviously made a difference too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about that second half run. Duke started the second half with a 19-7 run. They didn't miss a shot for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was after letting Georgetown reclaim the lead at the end of the first half. So that was a really big moment. Emil Jefferson said Coach K asked the team, challenged the team to step up in that opening second half moment.
And they did.
And they did it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, after this hellish streak, the Blue Devils have played Kentucky, VCU, and Georgetown now in their past 3 games. They're going to get a little bit of a break. They're going to go back home to Durham to take on Yale this Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
You can find all our post-game coverage from this weekend online at DukeChronicle.com and on Twitter at Duke Basketball. You can find all our pre-game coverage this Monday and Tuesday for the contest at Yale. For Jack Dolgin, I'm Nick Martin. We'll see you then.